Beauty had been selling bread in the market for years. Life was hard, but she had no choice. Her mother was sick, and hospital bills were piling up. Every morning, she woke up early, carried her tray of bread, and stood under the sun, calling out to customers. Wait, could a simple bread seller's life change in an instant? Stay tuned to Innocent Stories to find out. One day, as she arranged her bread, a sleek black car parked nearby. A tall, handsome man in an expensive suit stepped out. He looked around, like he wasn't supposed to be there, then his eyes landed on her. "How much for the bread?" he asked. Beauty looked up, surprised. Rich men like him never stopped to buy street bread. 500 naira per loaf, she said simply. He smiled and took out his wallet, but before he could pay, a rude man shoved past him and hissed, "Move aside, rich boy, we don't have all day." Beauty ignored the insult, but the rich man didn't. He turned to the rude customer, his voice cold. "Watch your mouth. Selling bread is not a crime." The rude man looked at him, then at his expensive watch, and quickly walked away. Beauty raised an eyebrow. "You didn't have to do that." "Maybe I just like standing up for hard-working people," the man said. "My name is Philip." Beauty handed him the bread. "Nice to meet you, Philip. Now, do you want more bread, or are you just here to talk?" Philip chuckled. "Maybe both." But hold on, was someone watching this sweet moment unfold? Keep watching Innocent Stories to uncover the drama. From a distance, someone was watching them. Tony clenched his fists, his eyes burning with anger. Years ago, he had wanted Beauty for himself. He had promised her money, a good life, but she had rejected him. "You think you're too good for me?" Tony had sneered when she turned him down. "I don't love you, Tony. Please stop following me," Beauty had said. He had never forgotten those words. Now, seeing her smile at another man made his blood boil. "So, you rejected me, but now you're smiling at this rich fool," he muttered, his hands tightening into fists. "If I can't have you, no one will." The next day, Philip returned to the market. Beauty frowned. "You again?" Philip leaned on her stall, smiling. "I didn't get your name yesterday." "Beauty," she said. Philip smiled. "A perfect name." Beauty rolled her eyes. "If you're here to joke, I have bread to sell." Philip chuckled. "Actually, I have an offer. I want you to own your own bakery. I'll pay for everything, but you'll be the boss." Beauty's eyes widened. "Why would you do that for me?" Philip shrugged. "I believe in you. You work hard. You deserve more." Beauty hesitated. She had always dreamed of having her own bakery, but why would a billionaire help her? "No, thank you," she said. Philip raised an eyebrow. "Why?" "I don't take gifts from strangers," Beauty replied. Philip smirked. "Then get to know me." Beauty laughed despite herself. "Fine, but I still don't trust you." "Then I'll earn your trust," Philip said. From a corner, Tony watched them, his face dark with anger. "She will regret this," he muttered. Days passed, and Philip kept his word. He helped Beauty open her bakery, Beauty's Golden Loaf. Customers flooded in. Beauty worked hard, and soon her business became famous. Philip visited every day. They talked, laughed, and slowly, Beauty started to like him. One evening, Beauty sat outside the bakery, looking sad. Philip noticed. "What's wrong?" Beauty sighed. "My mother is very sick. The hospital said she needs surgery, but I don't have the money." Philip held her hand. "How much do you need?" Beauty looked down. "A lot more than I can afford." Philip didn't think twice. "I'll pay for it." Beauty's eyes widened. "No, I can't let you do that." Philip smiled. "I want to. Let me help." Tears filled Beauty's eyes. "Philip, I don't know what to say." "Just say yes," he whispered. Beauty nodded, too emotional to speak. The next day, Philip transferred the money. The surgery was successful. When Beauty's mother woke up, she held her daughter's hand and said, "That man loves you. Don't push him away." Beauty smiled. "I know, Mama." That night, after closing the bakery, Beauty and Philip walked under the streetlights. Philip stopped walking and turned to her. "Beauty, do you know why I did all this?" Beauty looked at him. "Because you're kind?" Philip smiled. "Because I love you." Beauty's heart pounded. "You love me?" Philip nodded. "Yes. I love your strength, your kindness, the way you fight for your dreams." Beauty felt tears in her eyes. She had been afraid of love, afraid of getting hurt, but Philip was different. She took a deep breath and whispered, "I love you too, Philip." Philip's eyes shone. "Say it again." Beauty smiled. "I love you, Philip." Philip pulled her close, and under the night sky, they shared their first kiss. But not everyone was happy. Tony sat in his office, his face twisted with rage. "So, she loves him now after rejecting me," he growled. He picked up his phone. "Find a way to ruin her bakery. I want her to suffer." On the other end, Lisa, Beauty's assistant, smiled wickedly. "Consider it done." Beauty had never been this happy before. Her mother was healthy again, her bakery was growing, and Philip was always by her side. Every morning, he would stop by the bakery before going to work. He would sit by the counter, watching her bake, teasing her, making her laugh. She liked the way he made her feel safe, the way he believed in her even when she doubted herself. One evening, after closing the bakery, Philip took her hand and looked into her eyes. "Beauty, you don't know how much I love you," he said softly. Beauty felt her heart race. "I love you too, Philip," she whispered. He smiled and kissed her gently. That night, she couldn't stop thinking about him. She had never believed she would fall in love, but with Philip, everything felt right. But while Beauty was happy, Tony was burning with anger. He sat in his office, staring at pictures of Beauty and Philip on his phone. He had hired someone to follow them, to watch their every move. Seeing them together made his blood boil. "She rejected me, but now she's giving her heart to him," he muttered. He clenched his fists, his mind racing with evil thoughts. He picked up his phone and called Lisa. "It's time," he said. Lisa, Beauty's assistant, smiled. "Don't worry, boss. I'll make sure her bakery is destroyed," she said. The next morning, Beauty arrived at the bakery early, as usual. She greeted her workers, put on her apron, and started baking. The smell of fresh bread filled the air, and customers lined up outside, waiting for the doors to open. But just as she was about to unlock the door, health inspectors stormed in. "This bakery is being shut down," one of them announced. Beauty froze. "What?" "Why?" she asked, her heart pounding. The inspector handed her a paper. "We received reports that you're using expired ingredients. Your bakery is not safe for customers." Beauty's hands trembled as she looked at the paper. "That's a lie. We only use fresh ingredients," she protested. Outside, people gathered, whispering. "I knew it. She was never a real businesswoman," someone said. "Philip made her rich, and now she's exposed," another added. Beauty felt dizzy. How could this be happening? She turned to Lisa. "Did you know about this?" Lisa faked a shocked expression. "No, Beauty, I swear I don't know anything." But inside, she was smiling. Philip arrived just in time to see the bakery doors being sealed. "What the hell is going on?" he demanded. Beauty looked at him, tears in her eyes. "They shut me down, Philip. They think I poison people," she said, her voice breaking. Philip's jaw clenched. "This is a setup," he said firmly. Beauty shook her head. "It doesn't matter." "It's over," she whispered. Philip cupped her face. "Don't say that." "We'll fight this," he promised. But Beauty pulled away. "Philip, maybe they're right. Maybe I don't belong in your world, she said. Philip's heart twisted. Don't say that, he pleaded. But Beauty had already turned away, walking into the rain, leaving him standing there, helpless. From a distance, Tony watched from his car, smirking. And just like that, she falls, he said. But what he didn't know was that Philip was not a man to give up easily. That night, Philip sat in his office, going through security footage from the bakery. He knew someone had set Beauty up, and he was going to find out who. Suddenly, he saw something that made his blood boil. Lisa. She had been sneaking into Beauty's office at night. He rewound the footage and saw her slipping papers into Beauty's files. His hands tightened into fists. So, it was you, he muttered. The next morning, he stormed into Lisa's apartment. She opened the door, shocked to see him. Philip, what are you? Before she could finish, he grabbed her phone and scrolled through her messages. He found the texts between her and Tony. It's done, Lisa had texted. She's ruined. Philip's eyes darkened. How much did he pay you to betray Beauty? He asked coldly. Lisa trembled. Philip, please, I can explain. Save it, he snapped. You're going to confess everything. An hour later, Philip dragged Lisa to Beauty's house. Beauty opened the door, her face pale and tired. She hadn't slept all night. Philip, what are you doing here? She asked weakly. We need to talk, he said. Then he turned to Lisa. Tell her the truth. Lisa looked down, ashamed. Beauty, I betrayed you, she whispered. I was working for Tony. He told me to plant fake evidence in your bakery. He wanted to destroy you. Beauty's heart sank. Tony, she repeated, her voice shaking. Lisa nodded. He never forgave you for rejecting him. He wanted revenge. Beauty covered her mouth, trying to hold back tears. Philip stepped forward. Beauty, you are not a failure. You didn't deserve this, and I swear I will make Tony pay. Beauty looked at him, her eyes filled with emotion. Philip, I don't know what to say, she whispered. He took her hands. Say you believe in us. Say you won't give up, he said softly. Beauty took a deep breath. I believe in us, she whispered. Philip smiled and pulled her into his arms. But their happiness was short-lived. That night, Philip's phone rang. He picked up. Hello? If you want to see Beauty's mother alive, bring $1 million, a voice said coldly. Philip's heart stopped. Who is this? You have 24 hours, the voice said before the call ended. Philip turned to Beauty, his face pale. Your mother, she's been kidnapped. Beauty gasped. No. Who would do this? She cried. Philip clenched his fists. Tony, he growled. He grabbed his car keys and headed for the door. Beauty ran after him. Philip, please don't do anything crazy. He turned to her, his eyes burning with anger. I will not let him hurt you again, he said. Then he drove off into the night, leaving Beauty standing there, tears streaming down her face. In an abandoned warehouse, Tony smirked as he watched Beauty's mother tied to a chair. Philip thinks he can take everything from me? Let's see how far he's willing to go, he said. His men laughed. Do you really think he'll come alone? One of them asked. Tony smirked. He will. Because he loves her. At that moment, Philip sped through the streets, his hands gripping the steering wheel. He had never been this angry in his life. He was going to end this once and for all. And if Tony wanted war, Philip was ready to give it to him. Philip gripped the steering wheel tightly, his mind racing. His heart burned with anger, but deep inside, he knew the truth. Tony wasn't a fool. If he had the guts to kidnap Beauty's mother, then he had people working for him, dangerous people. What if they were many? What if they had guns? He couldn't risk running in blindly and getting himself killed. He had to think smart. He took a deep breath and pulled over. He grabbed his phone and dialed a number. The police chief answered. This is Philip. I need your help, Phillip said, his voice firm. What's going on? The chief asked. A man named Tony has kidnapped someone. He's demanding $1 million, but I know if I go there alone, I might not come back alive. The police chief was silent for a moment, then he said, We'll handle it. Tell him we're bringing the money, but we'll be ready to take him down. Phillip exhaled slowly. Thank you. He called Tony next. I have the money, Phillip said, keeping his voice steady. Tony laughed on the other end. Good boy. I knew you'd make the right choice. Bring it to the warehouse. Come alone. Fine, Phillip said. An hour later, Phillip arrived at the warehouse. He parked his car outside and stepped out, holding a black briefcase. He had to act calm. He knew the police were hiding nearby, watching everything. The warehouse doors creaked open, and Tony walked out with a smug smile. Behind him were 5 of his men, all holding guns, and in the middle of them sat Beauty's mother, tied to a chair, looking weak and scared. Where's the money? Tony asked, stepping forward. Phillip held up the briefcase. Right here. Tony grinned. Good. Drop it on the ground and step back. Phillip hesitated, his eyes scanning the area. The police had to be ready by now. Let my mother-in-law go first, Phillip said. Tony burst out laughing. Mother-in-law? Oh, Phillip, don't tell me you're actually in love with that bread seller. You could have any woman you want, but instead, you choose her? Phillip clenched his fists. Let her go, Tony. Tony smiled. First, the money. Phillip sighed and slowly bent down to place the briefcase on the ground. And then, a loud gunshot echoed through the air. Before Tony and his men could react, the warehouse doors burst open. Police! Drop your weapons! Sirens wailed as officers stormed in from all sides. Tony's men tried to run, but they had nowhere to go. Within seconds, the police had them surrounded, guns pointed at them. One officer tackled Tony to the ground, twisting his arms behind his back. You set me up. Tony roared, struggling. Phillip smirked. You were never going to win, Tony. Beauty's mother was quickly untied and led to safety. She was shaking but unharmed. One by one, Tony's men were handcuffed and taken away. But Phillip wasn't done yet. Where's Lisa? Phillip asked the police. One officer stepped forward, dragging Lisa toward them. We found her trying to run. She was working with Tony, the officer said. Lisa's face was pale with fear. Phillip, please, I was forced to do it. I didn't have a choice. Phillip looked at her coldly. You had a choice, Lisa. And you chose to betray Beauty. Lisa burst into tears as the police took her away with the rest of Tony's men. Phillip turned to Beauty's mother. Are you okay? She nodded weakly. Thank you, Phillip. You saved me. Phillip sighed in relief. Let's go home. That night, Beauty sat outside her house, waiting. She hadn't been able to eat or sleep since she found out her mother was kidnapped. When she heard the sound of a car pulling up, she jumped to her feet. Phillip stepped out, and behind him, her mother slowly got out of the car. Mama! Beauty screamed, running toward her. Her mother opened her arms, and Beauty threw herself into them, sobbing. I thought I lost you, Beauty cried. Her mother stroked her hair. I'm here, my daughter, thanks to Phillip. Beauty looked up at Phillip, her eyes filled with emotion. You saved her, she whispered. Phillip smiled. I told you I would never let anything happen to your family. Beauty wiped her tears and ran into his arms. Phillip held her tightly. I love you, Phillip, she whispered. Phillip kissed her forehead. I love you too, Beauty, more than anything in this world. Her mother smiled as she watched them hold on to each other. People like Tony will always exist, but love is stronger than any enemy, she said. Phillip looked into Beauty's eyes. Nothing will ever come between us again. Beauty nodded, feeling safe in his arms. But little did they know, their story was far from over. Philip felt it was time. He had made up his mind. Beauty was the woman he loved, and he wanted his mother to meet her. He knew his mother could be difficult, but he believed that once she saw Beauty, once she understood the kind of woman she was, she would welcome her with open arms. That evening, he took Beauty to his family mansion. Beauty was nervous. "Philip, what if she doesn't like me?" she asked softly. Philip held her hand. "She will. You're everything a mother would want for her son." Beauty smiled, but deep inside, she was scared. When they arrived, the house was grand, bigger than anything Beauty had ever seen. A maid opened the door and led them inside. Philip's mother, Madame Grace, sat in the luxurious living room, dressed in an expensive gown, sipping tea. She was a woman of power, used to controlling everything around her. Philip walked forward, smiling. "Mother, I want you to meet someone special," he said. Madame Grace looked up, her sharp eyes landing on Beauty. She examined her from head to toe, noticing the simple dress, the nervous way she stood, the hands that showed years of hard work. "Good evening, Ma," Beauty greeted politely, bowing slightly. Madame Grace did not respond immediately. She set down her tea, folded her arms, and turned to Philip. "Who is she?" Philip smiled, still holding Beauty's hand. "Her name is Beauty. She's the woman I love." Silence filled the room. Madame Grace's eyes darkened. "Where is she from?" Philip hesitated. "She grew up in the city. She had a small business selling bread, but now she owns her own bakery." Madame Grace's expression turned cold. "A bread seller?" Philip's jaw tightened. "She is more than that, Mother. She is hardworking, strong, and kind. She is the reason I believe in love again." Madame Grace's face remained unreadable. Then she turned to Beauty. "Who are your parents?" Beauty swallowed hard. "My mother is a widow. My father passed away years ago. It's just been me and my mother." Madame Grace's lips curled into a thin smile. "So, you are poor." Philip's eyes widened. "Mother, that's not important." Madame Grace ignored him, her gaze still fixed on Beauty. "Do you know that my son has been used and dumped by a poor girl before?" she said, her voice sharp. Philip stiffened. "Mother, stop." Madame Grace continued, her voice rising. "Do you know how much he suffered? He gave his heart to a girl from the streets, thinking she loved him, but when she had everything she wanted, she left him. She broke him. And now you expect me to allow my son to make the same mistake twice?" Beauty's hands trembled. "I am not that girl, Ma," she said softly. Madame Grace scoffed. "That's what they all say." Philip stepped in front of Beauty, his face filled with anger. "Mother, Beauty is different. She is not after my money. She has never asked me for anything. She worked for everything she has." Madame Grace shook her head. "I will not allow history to repeat itself. My son will not marry a poor girl." Philip clenched his fists. "I love her, Mother. That will never change." Madame Grace looked at him, her expression hard. "Then you will have to choose your family or this girl." Philip's heart pounded. "Mother, don't do this." "I have spoken," Madame Grace said firmly. "You are my only son, Philip. I want the best for you, and this girl is not the best." Beauty felt tears in her eyes. She turned to Philip. "Philip, maybe she's right. Maybe I don't belong here." Philip grabbed her hand. "Don't say that. We belong together." Madame Grace stood up. "If you walk out of this house with her, do not come back." Philip looked at his mother, shocked. "You're really going to push me away because of this?" Madame Grace's eyes did not waver. "I am protecting you." Philip shook his head in disappointment. He turned to Beauty, his grip on her hand tightening. "Let's go." Beauty hesitated. "Philip, no, she is your mother." Philip's voice was firm. And you are my future. Madame Grace watched as her son led Beauty out of the house. Her heart ached, but she refused to show weakness. He will come back, she whispered to herself. He will realize his mistake. Beauty got home, feeling weak. Her heart was heavy, her eyes filled with unshed tears. She had never imagined love would be this hard. She sat on the bed, staring at nothing, replaying everything that had happened at Philip's house. His mother's cold words echoed in her mind, "You are poor. My son will not marry a girl like you. If you walk out of this house with her, do not come back." The pain in Philip's eyes when he chose her over his own mother broke her heart even more. She knew he loved her, but was love enough? Could she really marry into a family that did not accept her? Her mother walked into the room and saw her daughter looking lost. She sat beside her. "Beauty, what is wrong?" she asked gently. Beauty looked at her mother, and just like that, the tears she had been holding back started falling. "Mama, I am done. I cannot marry Philip," she whispered. Her mother frowned. "What do you mean?" Beauty wiped her face. "His mother doesn't like me. She doesn't want her son to marry a poor girl. She told him to choose between me and his family, and he chose me, Mama. I cannot be the reason Philip loses his family." Her mother sighed. "My child, love is not always easy. But do you think walking away is the right decision?" Beauty sniffed. "I love him, Mama, more than anything. But what if his mother never accepts me?" Her mother held her hands. "Then you prove her wrong." Beauty shook her head. "I don't think she will ever change her mind." Her mother smiled softly. A mother always wants the best for her child. "Philip's mother does not hate you, Beauty. She is only afraid. She has seen her son heartbroken before, and she is scared it will happen again. But you cannot give up on Philip so quickly. That man loves you." Beauty's lips trembled. "I know, Mama. I see it in his eyes. I feel it in my heart." But his mother's words, they hurt. Her mother wiped her tears. "Then be calm, my daughter. Let time show her the truth. Love does not rush. If Philip truly loves you, he will not give up. And you must not give up on him either." Beauty exhaled slowly. "Mama, what if she never accepts me? What if this love ends in pain?" Her mother smiled again. "Love always has obstacles, but if it is real, it will win. You cannot run away just because things are difficult. If Philip has chosen you, then you must stand beside him." Beauty closed her eyes, thinking deeply. She loved Philip with all her heart, but was she strong enough to face this battle? Her mother held her chin gently. "You are strong, my child. Don't let fear take away your happiness." Beauty nodded slowly. She knew her mother was right, but deep inside, she wondered, would Philip's mother ever change her mind, or was this only the beginning of the war? Philip sat in his office, staring at his desk, deep in thought. His heart was heavy. He had not been able to focus on work since the argument with his mother. He loved Beauty, but the way his mother had treated her hurt him deeply. He sighed, running his hand over his face. Just then, the door opened, and his father walked in. "Philip, we need to talk," he said. Philip looked up, surprised. His father was a calm and reasonable man, unlike his mother, who always wanted things her way. Philip nodded. "Come in, Dad." His father sat down. "Your mother told me everything." Philip sighed. "I expected that." His father leaned forward. "I think she is just being protective, Philip. You know how she is. After what happened in the past, she is scared. She doesn't want you to go through that pain again." Philip shook his head. "I understand that, Dad, but she should not have said those things in Beauty's presence. At least she should have respected me, her own son." His father nodded slowly. "I agree with you. Your mother was too harsh. I told her she could have handled it better. But you know how she is. When she has made up her mind, it is hard to change it. Philip sighed. I just wish she would listen, Dad. Beauty is different. She is not after my money. She never even wanted my help in the first place. She is strong, hardworking, and kind. I love her, Dad, and I know she loves me too. His father looked at him, seeing the seriousness in his eyes. I believe you, son. And I will talk to your mother when I get home. Maybe with time, she will understand. Philip felt a little relief. Please do, Dad. I really love this woman, and I know she is different. His father smiled. I know you do. That's why I will try my best to make her see what you see in Beauty. Philip nodded. He had been feeling so down, but at least his father was on his side. His father looked at him closely and said, You know, you look like a man who just lost his favorite meal. Philip raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? His father chuckled. You've been sitting here looking like someone took your last plate of jollof rice. Philip couldn't help but laugh. His father always had a way of making him feel better. Come on, son, cheer up. Love is not always easy, but it's worth fighting for, his father said. Philip smiled. Thanks, Dad. His father stood up. Now go back to work. Your company won't run itself. Philip laughed again. Yes, sir. As his father walked out, Philip felt a little lighter. He still had a battle to fight, but at least he knew he wasn't fighting alone. Philip's father arrived home, tired but determined. He had promised his son that he would speak to his wife, and that was exactly what he was going to do. He walked into the living room and found Madame Grace sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone, her face still cold with anger. We need to talk, he said firmly. Madame Grace did not look up. There is nothing to talk about. Philip's father sighed. Grace, calm down. You are taking this too far. Madame Grace finally looked at him, her eyes sharp. Too far? So now I am the problem? I am protecting my son. Philip's father shook his head. No, you are trying to control him. Philip is a grown man. He has chosen the woman he loves. Why can't you accept that? Madame Grace scoffed. Because she is poor. She is not his class. Philip has suffered enough because of a poor girl before, and I will not allow it to happen again. Philip's father narrowed his eyes. Are you going to marry your son, Grace? Madame Grace gasped. What did you just say? You heard me, Philip's father said, his voice rising. Are you planning to marry Philip? Because the way you are acting, it seems like you want to control his love life forever. Madame Grace stood up, her hands shaking with anger. How dare you talk to me like this? Philip's father was not done. Where was your family when I met you, Grace? Were they wealthy? No. Your father was a schoolteacher, your mother was a trader. You were not rich, but I married you because I loved you. So why are you now acting as if poverty is a crime? Madame Grace's face turned red with fury. She could not believe what she was hearing. You are insulting me because of that girl, she shouted. I am telling you the truth. Philip's father snapped. You have forgotten where you came from, and now you want to ruin your son's happiness because of your foolish pride. Madame Grace could not take it anymore. She turned and stormed off, her heels clicking loudly on the marble floor. She marched straight to her room, slammed the door shut, and picked up her phone. Her hands shook with rage as she dialed Beauty's number. The moment Beauty picked up, Madame Grace did not waste time. You witch, she spat. Beauty frowned. Excuse me, who are you, please? You are the reason my family is falling apart. You want to destroy everything I built, but you will not succeed. Beauty's heart skipped. Ma. Madame Grace? So, you know my name. Madame Grace hissed. Good, because I want you to listen carefully. You will leave my son alone. Stay away from Philip before you regret ever meeting him. Beauty felt her hands tremble. Ma, with all due respect, I love Philip. I am not trying to destroy anything. Liar! Madame Grace shouted. This is why I hate poor people, always pretending to be innocent. I know your type. You see a rich man, and immediately you start acting like a saint, but I know the truth. You are nothing but an opportunist. Beauty felt something rise in her chest, something between anger and pain. I have never asked Philip for anything. I work hard, and everything he did for me, he did it out of love. I love your son for who he is, not for what he has. Madame Grace laughed bitterly. That's what they all say. But I have seen girls like you before. First, you act humble, then you turn my son against me. Look at what you have done. Philip has walked out on me because of you. You think you have one? You must leave my son alone. Beauty took a deep breath. She had taken enough. And what if I don't leave him? Silence. Then Madame Grace's voice came back, colder than before. You won't dare. Just try me. Beauty tightened her grip on her phone. Philip is not a child. He chose me. I will not walk away just because you don't like me. Then prepare for war, Madame Grace spat. Because I will make sure this relationship ends in pain. Beauty said calmly, you can try, but love is stronger than hate. Madame Grace let out a bitter laugh. You have no idea who you are dealing with. Before Beauty could say another word, the line went dead. Beauty put the phone down, her heart pounding. She had never been insulted like that in her life, but she was not afraid. She loved Philip, and she was ready to fight for him. Beauty's mother was alone in the living room, enjoying the quiet evening, when she heard a knock on the door. She stood up, wondering who it could be. Slowly, she walked to the door and opened it. The moment she saw the woman standing there, her eyes widened in shock. Grace, she whispered, not believing her eyes. Madame Grace was just as shocked. Margaret? What are you doing here? Beauty's mother frowned. This is my house. What are you doing here? Madame Grace took a step back, still processing everything. You mean, you are Beauty's mother? Beauty's mother nodded. Yes, I am. But how did you get this address, and what brings you here? Madame Grace was speechless for a moment. She shook her head, still in disbelief. I came here because of my son, Philip. He told me he loves a girl named Beauty, and I came to warn her to stay away from him. But I had no idea. I had no idea Beauty was your daughter. Beauty's mother's eyes softened. Philip is your son? Madame Grace nodded. Yes. Beauty's mother took a deep breath, her heart racing. Grace, it's been so long. I have prayed for this day, that we meet again. Madame Grace felt her throat tighten. Memories of their childhood, their school days, and the friendship they once shared rushed back. They had been best friends, inseparable, but life had taken them in different directions. They had lost contact after getting married and moving to different cities. And now, after all these years, they were standing in front of each other again, not as just old friends, but as the mothers of two people deeply in love. Tears filled Beauty's mother's eyes. I can't believe this. After all these years, we are finally seeing each other again. Madame Grace swallowed hard. Margaret, I have missed you so much. Without thinking, they stepped forward and hugged each other tightly. I missed you too, Beauty's mother whispered. They held on to each other, their emotions overwhelming them. The past didn't matter at that moment. The years apart didn't matter. All that mattered was that two long-lost friends had found each other again. After a long moment, they pulled away, smiling through their tears. Madame Grace wiped her eyes. I never imagined this. My son is in love with your daughter. Beauty's mother laughed softly. Yes, and he loves her deeply, just like we once loved each other as friends. Madame Grace shook her head in wonder. Life truly has a way of surprising us. Beauty's mother nodded. It does. But now that we are here, maybe this is a sign. Maybe our children are meant to be together, just like we were meant to meet again. Madame Grace looked down, thinking deeply. Her heart, which had been filled with anger and resistance, now felt lighter. Was this fate? Was this God's plan? She took a deep breath. Margaret, I don't know what to say. Beauty's mother smiled. Then don't say anything yet. Just think about it. Don't let the past control the future. Give Beauty a chance. Madame Grace got home, still in shock from everything that had happened. She sat down in the living room, staring at nothing, deep in thought. She could not believe that after all these years, she had finally found her best friend, Margaret, the same Margaret she had shared everything with, laughed with, cried with. And now, fate had brought them back together through their children. She thought about all the things she had said to Beauty, all the insults, all the hatred she had carried in her heart. And for what? She felt ashamed. She picked up her phone and dialed Philip's number. The phone rang twice before he picked up. Mother? Philip's voice was hesitant, as if he was expecting another argument. Madame Grace took a deep breath. Philip, my son, I need to talk to you. Philip frowned. What is it, Mother? Madame Grace exhaled slowly. I went to see Beauty today. Philip sat up straight. What, Mother? What did you do? Did you insult her again? Madame Grace shook her head, though he couldn't see her. No, my son. I went there to stop her from marrying you, but something unexpected happened. Philip was confused. What do you mean? Madame Grace smiled to herself. Philip, Beauty's mother, Margaret, she is my best friend from back in the days. Philip's eyes widened in shock. What? Beauty's mother is your friend? Yes, my son. We lost contact after we got married and moved to different cities. I had no idea that her daughter was the same woman you love. Philip was speechless. He had never expected this. Mother, I can't believe this. So, what does this mean? Madame Grace's voice softened. It means, my son, that I was wrong. I have judged Beauty unfairly. I thought she was just another girl after your money, but I was wrong. Her mother is a well-mannered, good woman, and if she raised Beauty, then I know Beauty must be a good woman too. I am sorry for everything, my son. You can go ahead with the marriage. I support you fully. Philip couldn't believe what he was hearing. Mother, are you serious? Madame Grace smiled. Yes, my son. I am serious. I want you to be happy. If Beauty is the one who makes you happy, then I will stand by you. Philip felt tears in his eyes. He had fought so hard for this moment. He had been ready to go against his mother for the woman he loved, but now she was giving him her full support. Thank you, Mother, he said softly. This means everything to me. I am the one who should be thanking you, Madame Grace said. For not giving up on love, even when I made it difficult for you. After the call ended, Philip wasted no time. He quickly dialed Beauty's number, excitement rushing through him. He had been waiting for this moment, and now everything was falling into place. When Beauty picked up, her voice was calm. Philip, is everything okay? Philip couldn't hold back his excitement. Baby, I have good news. Beauty sat up. What is it? Philip took a deep breath, grinning. My mother went to see you today, right? Beauty frowned. No, I wasn't home, but my mother told me she came by. Why? Philip laughed. Well, that same mother of mine just called me. She told me everything. She found out that your mother is her best friend from long ago, and now she has given us her full blessing. Beauty gasped. Philip, are you serious? Yes, baby. Philip laughed. She said we can go ahead with our wedding. She supports us fully. Beauty covered her mouth, tears filling her eyes. Oh my God, Philip, I never thought this day would come. Philip smiled. It's here, baby, and I don't want to waste any more time. Beauty wiped her tears. What do you mean? Philip took a deep breath. Let's get married in 2 weeks. Beauty froze. Philip, are you joking? Philip laughed. I am serious, my love. We have wasted too much time. I don't want to wait any longer. Baby, marry me. Beauty's heart raced. She had dreamed of this day, but she never thought it would come so soon. Philip chuckled. Don't tell me you're thinking about it. Say yes, my love. Beauty laughed through her tears. Yes, Philip, I will marry you. Philip cheered. That's my girl. 2 weeks later, the wedding took place. It was a beautiful ceremony filled with love, laughter, and joy. Beauty looked stunning in her white gown, and Philip couldn't take his eyes off her as she walked down the aisle. He felt his heart swell with happiness. Madame Grace and Margaret stood side by side, smiling as they watched their children join together in love. When the vows were exchanged, Philip held Beauty's hands and looked into her eyes. Beauty, from the moment I met you, I knew you were special. You have shown me love in its purest form. I promise to love, cherish, and protect you for the rest of my life. Beauty smiled, tears in her eyes. Philip, you are my best friend, my protector, my love. I promise to stand by you through good times and bad, for the rest of my life. The priest smiled. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Philip didn't waste time. He pulled Beauty close and kissed her deeply as the crowd cheered. Madame Grace wiped tears from her eyes. She had fought against this love, but now she saw how true and beautiful it was. She leaned toward Margaret and whispered, "Our children have found what we once had. This is how love should be." Margaret smiled. Yes, Grace, and I pray they remain happy forever. After the wedding, Philip and Beauty started their new life together, filled with love, peace, and happiness. And they lived happily ever after. Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic tale? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story from Innocent Stories, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching, and stay blessed.